All right, it looks like we are live here. Cool. What's up, everyone? What's up, Lisa Hurley? Yeah, we're back, folks. I know I have not been here the last couple of days. I have been traveling. I'm actually back home with my folks for the holidays, me and my girlfriend, my dog over here. So been a little bit busy the last couple of days. I apologize not being around, but we're back now, and that's what matters. I'll be honest with you. It felt really nice to actually take a little bit of time off from the markets. Just take a couple of days. We were driving. We drove home because we got our dog. A little bit too big to fly. And I got to say, it was really nice. What happened to your screen? Yeah, I don't know. It's different. I'm not sure. It looks like they did an update to the streaming provider we use. It looks kind of cool. But anyways, glad I've been, it's been good to, again, take like a day or two off. And yesterday we were driving all day. I didn't trade at all yesterday, slept in, and there was just something nice to it. Again, before we get too far into anything today, I think there's like a nice reminder in that, just like, remember why you're doing this, why you're looking to do this. And that's not an excuse to be like, don't work. Not at all. That would be silly of me to say. But in the same breath, like, understand that you can really kind of get what you want out of this. You can make what you want out of it, or make out of it what you want. And for me, like, it was just nice to be able to chill. And we watched it. We've been watching this the new show, or new-ish, Pluribus. I don't know how to say it. Anyone who hasn't seen it, it's on Apple TV. And we're only like 3 episodes in, maybe 4. Really good, I think, anyways. So with that out of the way, with me done complaining and whatnot, I think it's time we get right on into this. Today, first of all, you got to realize I didn't trade yesterday, so I only know so many of our kind of top movers this morning, and what I expect out of them. But what I will say is, what was the ticker I was looking for? What is the ticker I was looking for? I'm going to find it. Starts with an A. It's a day 2 move. AM is literally on my screen. That's crazy. It's on my other screen, AMCI. And you guys are typing it all at the same time. Yes, AMCI. Definitely my top watch of the day. So here's my I don't cybersecurity yet. I don't even know what this watch list is. Sure, we'll delete the row. Okay. So here's the thing. I'm gonna leak some edge here, so they say. Generally speaking, when you get a big day 1 run and then it gaps up on the second day, we normally see a pretty big flush at some point. However, because there isn't really an edge to be leaked there, guess what you also tend to see on the second day? A big run. So really just kind of depending on how we play out here, is how I'm going to determine the bias. If we just pop straight up out of the open here and we just start running to like 14, 15, 16, I'm going to be more short biased. Longs in control for the time being, and day 2s are pretty choppy. Inversely, if we just dump out of the gates down to like $10, $9, I'm going to be expecting a squeeze at some point. Now, I don't really like trying to buy falling knives. Not my kind of style, not how I roll, not how I operate. I'm not that kind of guy. But if we were to say get a higher low out of a dip out of the gates, a big dip out of the gates, higher low, I might then look for an attack, even if it's sub VWAP. I normally don't love buying stocks under VWAP, but that would be an exception. Now, AMCI is pushing pretty somewhat aggressively here. Right now, we're up from 9 to 12 in the last hour and a half or so. Not that huge of a move in an hour and a half, but anyway, obviously it's still holding up. It's in the right sector, robotics sector. The more this can run, the better. Honestly, I was gonna say on a dip too. I don't want to say the further it dips, the better. Have I ever watched The Big Short? Of course. Great movie, phenomenal movie. Is there a workshop soon? We actually just had a workshop this weekend. Guys, by the way, for those of you guys who don't know, and I should have probably let you guys know better, I host workshops once a month with the stocks trade team. Really, honestly, like this, I've been doing this for a couple of months with them now, and it is awesome. I'll let you know when the next one's coming up. I believe it's January 6th and 7th are the next live one. Is the next live one rather. So what I'll do, it's like $197 for 2 days of training. It's Friday and Saturday. I'll drop you guys the link as we get closer next time. They're really awesome, great team. And I think it's phenomenal. So I'll drop you guys the link next time. January 6th and 7th are going to be the next workshop dates. So keep that on your calendar. Oh, awesome. Lita was here. Great. Enjoyed it. Glad to hear. Anyways, we got about a minute left before the market opens. I am just going to be patiently waiting for AMCI to try to do something. Got about 15 seconds. Ding, 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 ding. As Kenneth would say. Oh, okay. Tony, what are you doing? No, Tony, you're standing here for a few. Because you don't get along with the family dog. Kind of does, but you never know. Yeah, AMCI, like I said, really just for me, more of a game of patience and seeing what are we doing? Are we popping out of the gates? Today's the day, and I've talked about this kind of concept with you guys before. Generally speaking, for me, when I am coming off of a day of days of not trading, I don't feel super in tune with the market. Obviously, I wasn't here the last couple of days. I wasn't in front of my screen the last couple of days, so I don't feel super in tune with the market. I try to dial it back a little bit. I'm not going to try to get forceful with any trades. Again, not my style, not how I roll. I'm not that kind of guy. I like to be really patient and wait. At least I try to be really patient and wait for what I perceive an easy setup to be. So AMCI, I'll let it try to do whatever it's going to do. If I miss a trade on it altogether, so be it. I miss a trade on it altogether. Obviously, I would like not to do that. I would like to instead really just wait and hit an easy trade on it if it presents itself. And I'll be pretty much laser focused on this because, well, to be honest with you, I don't have anything else on watch. Could be checking my scanner here. I mean, SRXH is the only other one, and that was definitely a better short in pre-market. BDRX, nothing I like there. AMCI, I mean, yeah, that's really it anyways. So oh, there we go. AMCI, I like that pop. Although, to be frankly, I like this one probably a little bit more on the short side if we just keep popping. Let's throw out VWAP here. Yeah, I mean, we're pretty extended over VWAP. Now, so just so you guys kind of understand where I'm coming from, on day two stocks like this, I do not buy momentum. I do not buy momentum. This is definitely more of I believe day twos are definitely better for dip buys into support. Again, I can't emphasize this enough. Day twos generally tend to be pretty choppy. They don't tend to necessarily be the easiest days for momentum buying. They also are really tough on the short side, though. Like you almost need to do the opposite of what you generally expect. And that's maybe not quite as true if you're really a true scalper. You're in the trade for 5 minutes or less. But I mean, if you're looking to be in the trade, and get a real big move out of it and try to capture the meat of the move, what I found is that you don't want to just be buying straight up momentum. And you don't want to be shorting weakness. You want to buy dips and short pops, generally speaking. Again, not 100% of the time. I certainly don't want to claim that's the way I view it either. But from just a super general perspective, we're halted up. So I'm going to look to probably be a little bit more short bias on this. Just because, I mean, this is kind of playing out how I was mentioning I would like to see it play out for a short. I would like to see, if I were looking at this on a long, I would really be looking at it on the other side. Now, here's the thing. Also, you don't want to, as a short seller, you also don't just want to be blindly shorting into strength. Because, I mean, especially something like this where you've got a hot sector, it's a low float. I actually don't even know what the news on it was yesterday. Probably should look at that quick. But, I mean, it almost doesn't matter because, again, we're really in the right sector for this. Let's see. Oh, a Trump tailwind. I don't see any actual specific news for it. Looks like it's just benefiting from the sector. These can run so much further than expected too. I mean, it's just we've seen the type of momentum we have. So it's really a patience game. It's, again, the same way that on a long, I'd want to be waiting for a higher low. On the short side, I'd want to be waiting for a lower high. So again, just patience here for me. Is BDRX halted up? Oh, I think this is a sub VWAP play. Why isn't BDRX popping up for me, though? Did I type in the wrong ticker? BDRX. There we go. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. To me, this is not a great long. Again, I'd probably be short biased into VWAP here around 7. Borrows are very expensive, so I'm not actually taking that, but but no, I'm going to stay focused here. AMCI. I'm going to take BDRX off my screen. Another thing that I like to try to do, and I could just feel that it's a feeling I could literally feel as I typed in BDRX there. I wanted to get distracted from the main trade, and clearly, AMCI is probably going to be today's main trade. So I'm going to try to limit distractions in that sense today, and really just try to stay focused on the easy one. Also, just to remind myself, I don't need to take the trade. I don't need to take any trade. So yeah, I'm trying. I love long car rides. They're drives, I guess, because I get to really just sit back and for a very rare moment in time, not feel the need to do anything really, other than I'll listen to audiobooks. And it really helps me get into, it's like a really, generally for me, a really kind of, like a little bit of a mindset shift that I guess that I get, where I get to take that moment or 2 days really and just absorb myself in trading books. Because I can't review while I'm driving. So I get to get a little bit of a mindset shift, a new perspective a lot of times when I drive. And I recently just finished on this road trip listening to Best Loser Wins, which I also have the physical copy of. I also have the physical copy of the book as well. Thanks to Matt Monaco, which also, sorry, Matt, I've kind of beaten up your copy here a little bit. Whoops. Anyways, I just recently finished listening to that in the car ride, and it was a great book for anyone who hasn't read and or listened to it quite yet. AMCI, pretty hard dip there. Oof, is that all we get? Definitely looks to be that way. Unfortunately, no way for me to take a short into that. So that's that might have been the trade on it. But again, that's also why, I mean, like I said, that's why you don't buy strength on a stock like this. Just halt up straight to a halt down. Good luck trying to get out of that. For now, I guess just nothing really. But oh, cool. Tech just started that. Very nice. Very nice. Great book. I think everyone should read it. It says IGA. Yeah, I completely agree. It really is. It's a lot of stuff you probably already know. Like, you just might not be actively thinking of it. And for one reason or another, that book just really seems to is stuck with me over the last couple of hours. I finished it yesterday, but yeah, highly encourage you guys to read it. It's just really, I mean, as the title implies, Best Loser Wins. It's really just largely about like learning how to be a good loser. And you know, it's something that we all want to think we're good at. You can admit that you're wrong, and a lot of times, guess what? You honestly just can't. And you can find yourself getting into that kind of mindset when you're in a trade very easily. It's like, how often do you let that stock go past your stop? How often do you not have a stop because you don't want to be wrong? I generally do have a stop, and I generally do get out of that position, but then sometimes I get into a position where I don't have enough size. I'm going to stop out here, but I don't want to take a full size loss. And it's like, oh, why not? Why don't I want to just take a full size loss? What's wrong with taking a full size loss? Losing is good. It's okay to lose. It's part of the game. But if I'm undersized on this one trade, I'm going to be an undersized winner too, you know? And that's something I do a lot. So that's something I'm going to try to work on, is just like when I'm ready for the trade, size into it. You guys are mentioning beat as well. I mean, honestly, beat's pretty impressive. Like beat's an impressive chart. I don't really have, for me anyways, I don't really have a whole lot. It's just a slower moving breakout, which is fine. In fact, it worked quite well this morning. But can we see your Porsche? Yeah, if I had one. I do have a Bronco. I've got the Bronco, though. Not taking the top off in this weather. It's chilly out. It's chilly in here even. I've got this sweater on. Karmagawa, for those of you guys that know, Sykes' charity, great charity. Can we see your Porsche? I'm not big into cars. Cars don't really do it for me. You don't have a dream car? No. Nope. I do not have a dream car. I've got it. I love the Bronco. It's so nice. It's so fun. I don't really care for fancy cars or anything like that, or nice cars, I guess. Something practical, it's fun to drive, and that I fit in. That's the big thing. Something that I fit in. For any guys that know me, you know I'm quite tall. I don't really fit into cars easily. Well, it's 6'8", and I don't fit into a normal car. So what's your camper chassis on? It's on my box truck. It's a Freightliner box truck. It's a 24-foot moving truck. It's about 8 feet inside, so I can fit inside of it, which is great. Ruth said, "I just want a vehicle that I can hit curbs with and not create issues." I believe me, I feel you there, Ruth. Hey, Brian, I'm looking forward to seeing you too, my friend. Looking forward to seeing you in Vegas too. Yeah, just a couple of weeks away. Couple of weeks. What do I think will happen with 24-hour trading? To be honest, I don't think that much will change. I think volume will still be concentrated between the 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. time frame, at least for a while. I mean, a lot of brokers already have 24-hour trading. Charles Schwab, you can already trade 24 hours. Like if you're looking at a Thinkorswim chart, you can see a 24-hour chart. I just don't think it'll be a highly liquid time. 6'8", like 2.07 meters. I don't know, probably. .03, it looks like. I don't know. Oh, yeah, 2.07. Yes, 2.07 meters. All right, well, AMCI is open. I don't think there's going to be a really easy long or short on this one, to be honest. Yeah, I can't short weakness. I'm not going to short that low day breakdown. It is what it is. How did BDRX end up doing that fall? I'm just kind of consolidating. Reminds me a little bit of MIGI, MIGI. I feel like that's not going to be an easy trade by any means. Don't scold me as I sip my energy drink here, but I don't have coffee. Is RZLV a good long if it breaks out? I don't know. It's just not really my kind of trade. I think more than anything, it's an earnings winner. So I don't really have good knowledge in that space. Not a setup I personally feel comfortable with. Again, let me look at the daily chart again. I forgot what the daily chart looked like, but if I remember right, it was kind of mid-range. Yeah, I personally am going to go with a no on this daily chart. I don't like that daily chart at all. Again, for me, and this is something we went over a lot in the workshop for anyone that was there and remembers, we went really in depth to the idea of a good daily chart and why it's so important, and just kind of to summarize that. And we've talked about this before on here too, but you want to do everything you can to put yourself in a position to be in a stock that wants to move, and it's your job to determine what bias that is, up or down. But you don't want to be in a trade where it's got a lot of overhead resistance and support, and it's just completely mid-range. That's probably going to lead to a lot more chop. You want to be in a position where you're finding a stock that has a very high likelihood of moving up or down quite drastically, so that you can establish that bias into the trade. And it actually expect to get a move. Trust that move is going to happen. Something like RZLV could go up, it could go down, it could do nothing. There's an equally high likelihood of all of those scenarios. I want to be in something where, like AMCI, we know that day two gap ups have really hard runs and really hard pulls. That's just how most of them play out. So again, that's my take. AMCI, I don't know if it wants to go up or down. No, it doesn't. I mean, it's probably more leaning towards down right now. Oh, I also know AMCI just caused a lot of traders headaches yesterday, both longs and shorts. Fake high a day break to a fake low a day break to new highs after hours to back down to sub high a day. By the end of after hours, it would need to really break out of a range for me to get intrigued by this, which as of right now, it just doesn't seem to want to do. And that's that's important too in its own way. It's just like, what has this stock done before? Because it's most likely to do something like that again, right? BDRX, did that kind of fail a little bit. Not as hard of a fail as I would expect for a trend break like that. Oh, is IMG a stock that's like up right now? Oh, did that move yesterday? That was a mover yesterday. I see. It will go down if it breaks past 1165, right? Maybe, maybe not. Again, day twos are really choppy. It probably goes down for a little bit, and it could come right back. SL or whatever SRXH. Too much overhead resistance from pre-market in my eyes. I'd be probably more short biased on pops on it. I mean, you're off, even in a very conservative manner, you're off $1 a share off highs, or I guess 50 cents a share, whatever it went to, 140. Did it go to 140 after that main pop? Yes, I mean, on real volume, it goes to 140. You're down 50% off of highs right now. I don't know. Could it work? Anything's possible. Anything can happen. But I would not be betting on that working. SMCI, that looks like a pretty aggressive failed pop there, but it's not breaking down either. Again, this is what I mean. They're just choppy. It's just getting to a really choppy area here. Sorry, I was sneezing. Wanted to make sure I didn't get that on camera too if I didn't need to. Then have a little sip of my drink. Yeah, right now, I'm not gonna lie. Oh, well, hold on. I said that and then a new stock just popped up in my scanner. What's this? Ooh, what is this? That's not a fun daily chart. Interesting intraday though. SKIL. That's a nice little trend break there. Smaller company, bad daily chart, but a daily chart without any real volume traded ever. Like, it doesn't really have resistance by volume. It's also not trading much volume, so save that what you will. But yeah, I mean, definitely someone I'd keep an eye on. AMCI is very interesting in the sense that it didn't break down. Definitely a bit surprised by that. Well, SKL looks like it is failing. AMCI, I think, really just a patience game. So I don't love this setup here, but a breakout over this high wouldn't be the worst thing. And here's my kind of thought process for this, right? Right now, to me, this looks like a head and shoulders, right? Shoulder, head, and then shoulder right here. Breaking out of that shoulder could be the start of what could turn into a pretty aggressive uptrend. Yeah, decent risk here. It's roughly $1 a share worth of risk. And if it works, I think there's probably a decent move to be made on it. But again, just for my that for me isn't the setup that I'm looking for on this. At this point, I mean, it's just, besides having held really well at that base there, I just don't think there's a huge edge in this for the time being for long. Again, I think all it's really done, I feel like it's more likely than not to chop around a bit if it's going to try to work. But yeah, definitely worth keeping an eye on. And there starts the move on AMCI. We broke out of that high there. Halt up level is 1364 right now. So we'll definitely be interested to see if that wants to continue. Okay, new halt level is 1397. A lot of times, I don't know who they is. Everyone likes to say they. But they, whoever they are, seem to always do a pretty good job at holding it under the halt level until like high a day. Like they somehow seem to be able to get that halt level very manipulated until the halt level is like right under high a day. And I would imagine one of the reasons for that, right, if there really is a they somewhere in the market that is able to do this. But I can tell you this: if I know everyone's if I know everyone who's short, if I know their stop out is 1451, and I can make the halt up level 1440, so they don't actually stop out before the halt, it just makes it that much more explosive after when people have to stop out higher. I would do that if I could, right? Like if I was a they, but I'm not. That's funny. Do I like beat daily breakout? It's just a slower moving stock. Like it looks good. Yeah, it looks good. It's just like slower moving. I don't have the patience for it personally. Playing the patience game here. There's a fairly high likelihood I don't end up taking a trade on stream today. My goal today is to sit around as little as possible. Come back in the afternoon, see if there's a good trade set up somewhere there. But one thing that I really have been thinking on is like midday, I have not been trading well, which I think is probably normal for most people. Most people do not trade midday well. Yet I've let myself sit around in that midday session for longer than I should have the last week or two. So I'd like to try to avoid that moving forward and really just focus on mornings and afternoons, pre-markets and power hour. So today, if I finish up this stream and I don't end up finding a trade on AMCI, or rather if that trade doesn't find me, I'm just going to get off, wait for the afternoon. And it's just when I trade better. I trade that time frame for whatever reason so much better. So that is kind of my plan there. AMCI, we're consolidating a bit. That's good at least. We're consolidating over this head and shoulders level. Again, I really would like to I know myself with these day two setups. I would like to be buying like stronger dips than this. But I will say, like, if I was short this, I would not be feeling very comfortable with it consolidating here. So that a breakout now through 1350, also not bad. We got tighter risk. No, you don't. It's still about $1 a share. But a breakout over this 1350 with a risk on like roughly 1250, whatever this low is, 1261, 1261, I guess. Yeah, I don't think that's bad either. It doesn't get me feeling all. I just don't love it enough. I feel like I would rather be buying stronger dips on this with the opportunity of a squeeze out. But again, if I were short this right now, I would not be feeling comfortable with this consolidation. This is not how a day two stock should be consolidating. When you get that pull, it's generally super aggressive. And listen, 1450 down to low a day was fairly aggressive, but you're expecting to see a flush to new low a day kind of thing. And we haven't seen that. What about your webinar on stocks to trade? What about it? Like, will I be trading there? I still do my webinars. A lot of those webinars for stocks trade, we're going through and reviewing data. We're going through and really, hold on, AMCI. See, but this is crazy too, right? You had this big push. This is day two nonsense. Massive push up to high a day, right back down. Big slam candle, but it can't break down either. So there's no short there. Oh my gosh, right back up. See, this isn't and halted up. Oh my God, look what they did. What did I say? I don't know who they is, but once again, the halt level is 1440 or 1439. Again, they seem to do a really good job at running it until that halt level is right underneath high a day. So that now, if they gap it over 1450, way more liquidity for that stop out. I don't know who they are, but they seem to be very good at doing that, and that is exactly what they just did. But yeah, going back to that question, on my webinar with Stocks Trade, a lot of what we'll do is we will go and do review together. We'll review trades of traders in the daily income trader system. We'll review my trades, my stats, and really do an in-depth dive into some of that. If there are live trades to be taken, I'll take them, but I'm trying to do a better job at not doing that. In fact, one of the main reasons that I structured my webinars in Stocks Trade the way that I do, where it's called the Morning Rocket Recap, like we're going over and reviewing trades and reviewing data, is because I didn't want to be trading during that time. And, I found myself kind of creeping back into trading during that time. So I'm going to try to do a better job of cutting that off. Unless there's, again, the only exception being if there is what I'd consider to be like an A+ trade. So for AMCI, for example, if there was a short bias trade on that, I would absolutely consider taking it. To me, that's a really strong daily chart contender that can set up past the morning. But there aren't really a lot that should fit into that boat. A lot of trades that should fit into that boat. Liquidation plays like OCG could also fit in there. INHD, stuff like that. But very few and far between. We don't get these types of trades often unless we're in a really hot market. Unfortunately, I don't know the answer to your question, Kurt. I would recommend reaching out to support. And by the way, congrats to those of you guys that took AMCI on that long there. It looks like there's a really strong likelihood this opens up over high a day. For anyone that did take it long, first of all, again, congratulations. Nice trade so far. What I would say is just keep in mind that these can pull back just as quickly as they run. So, I don't really always agree with the saying, you'll never go broke taking profits. But in the same breath, I also don't agree with hold on to this forever and don't sell unless it's at 100. Like, if you're in a favorable risk to reward scenario, 2 to 1, I don't think there's anything wrong with taking some off. When do you do the small cap rockets? 10:30 Eastern time, AM. Bryce, at what increments did you start scaling up from being 25 account size? Did you start increasing your possession regularly by 10% or so a week or regularly? Or did you size up more all at once? So my sizing up journey was a little bit faster than what a lot of people might go through, because a lot of my sizing up started during COVID, where everything just went up. And so basically my size up went from I was starting off risking $2 a trade to get the process down. And then once I realized that actually I had the process down for a while, I was just too worried about making money. Then I went in the next month, I went to $20 risk, then $40 risk, then $100 risk, then $150, then $200. So basically every month I tried to grow that risk by 50 to 100%, until I got to a spot where I was like, okay, I'm good. I'm fine now. I feel like I'm in that spot. And then from there, it stayed relatively stagnant. Just unless there's a really good contender. It's trading is interesting, right? Because it's your own journey, I guess is what I mean to say, in that you don't have to go and get wildly aggressive, right? You can, for me, I'm very happy with what I do right now. I am definitely sizing up on new setups. And that's something that has been a little bit challenging, I guess, in a way, is that maybe not wow, AMCI, great. That's great. What do you do with that? But like, so when I learn to trade new setups, I size down to learn that new setup. I don't go into that setup with a full size risk because I want to make sure that I'm understanding the setup thoroughly. And then what I end up doing is when you start trading new setups and new patterns is that you find that it actually might be more effective than you even thought, or it resonates with you really well. And so all of a sudden that particular setup might turn into an A plus trade. And then you have to work on risking more size on that. And so when I find those rare A plus trade scenarios in a new setup, that's where I now work on like increasing size into and trying to do a better job at understanding like what the proper risk levels are for that setup. And yeah, so it's a little bit different now. It's not like a percentage per week. It's like how much money am I going to risk on my best setups? And if I find a setup that is like better than what I thought my previous best setup was, I should be risking more on it. How much do I want to risk? Will I actually let myself stay true to that risk? Stuff like that. Thoughts on Beat? I would encourage you to go back earlier into the webinar. I've probably talked about Beat like 4 or 5 times now. To keep it super short, I think it's a good breakout chart, but I think it's too slow of a mover for me. How many day trades do you take to be profitable? Like 1 or 2? I don't get it. I don't know what you mean. I haven't lost on a day trade yet today, so I've been profitable since trade 1. I don't understand the question though. Is AMCI going to gap and crap today? It could. Something that I want to like try to make a clear message of for you guys that watch these. I don't know what the market's going to do ever. And I never try to tell myself that I know what the market's going to do. I try to understand a setup so that I can expect what could happen on what might be more likely to happen. But again, a random trade can run 500%, and a stock that you think has to do this one thing could do the exact opposite. So instead, all I really try to do from a day-to-day basis is find a daily chart setup that I can expect to be likely to do something, and from there, just build a plan around it. Oh, I got you, Jara. Like when you have a profit, do you just close your laptop or keep going? Because what if you have a profit and you keep trading, then you lose? What's wrong with losing? It's part of trading. If I don't care, like I will stick around for as long as there is a trade that matches my setup. Or if I expect there to be a trade that matches my setup. I don't care if I lose on it. I don't care. I'm trying to do a better job at that. And I generally do a pretty good job at that. Who cares? Like if you have a profitable system and you've proven yourself to be a consistent trader, you're going to take losses. Right? For instance, if I'm up, say, $1,000 on a day, just from trading like average setups, right? Or let's say you're up $1,000, you're trading average setups. And then all of a sudden you have a setup that you're comfortable to risk $2,000 on, right? Maybe these setups that you were trading earlier, and this probably isn't the most realistic example just because this would be a really wide discrepancy. But like, let's say that you're taking like B quality trades that they're worth your attention, but they're not worth your full risk of $2,000, right? So you risk like $250 on those trades. You take 2 of them and they worked out. So you're up $1,000. You made 2-to-1 risk reward on each of them. You're up $1,000, but then all of a sudden an A plus trade comes up, right? And you're like, this, I have to risk $2,000 on this. I can't not risk $2,000 on this trade. Are you going to let the fact that you made money stop you from taking full-size risk on the best trade? I wouldn't. And what happens if that trade loses? Well, then you're down $1,000. But like the point being, like if that trade opportunity presents itself, you have to be ready to take it. And it doesn't matter if you're up on the day or not, right? Who cares if you're down $2,000? Are you still willing to risk $2,000? And if the answer is anything other than yes, you're not trading the setup, you're trading your P&L. I've just checked VMAR. Actually, nice little move there. That will be that's something to keep an eye on. So how do I decide when to walk away, though? I mean, that's a fair question. I find that I don't really trade that well after like 11 a.m. Between like 11 a.m. and really 2 to 2:30 p.m. There's like a 3-hour stretch where I almost always consistently lose money. And so the question for me is like, why is that? Probably for a number of reasons. Number one, the market does get a bit choppier. Volume decreases. I'm tired. I get up early, although I did sleep in a little bit today. But I get up early. The market's choppier, less volume. Like logically, it would make sense that I probably do not trade that time frame all that well. So I'm not going to try to force it. At least I'm trying to not force it. So that's a good time to walk away. That's a good time for me to go do literally anything else. And one thing I want to do a better job at doing throughout the day too is like reminding myself, why am I doing this? Am I a trader so that I can sit in front of my screen for 12 hours a day? Or am I a trader because I want to be able to go and live a unique life where I can just get up at 11 in the morning Eastern time and go to the gym or go get lunch or go do anything? So that's something I want to do a better job of reminding myself that it's like, why am I doing this in the first place? It's not to sit around here all day and be an addict to the markets. Tony, what are you doing? But anyhow, yeah, that's a good question. That's a fair question. Does VMAR not have any news? I don't see any news on VMAR. That's pretty crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, unfortunately, I'd probably be looking relatively short bias on VMAR, but there are no shares available to borrow. I mean, there are, but they're ridiculously expensive. And at this point, AMCI is just turning into a total chop fest. I am personally going to avoid this one. I really wish we had gotten a cleaner breakout. We weren't able to, and I'm not going to chase weakness on this. So on the short side anyways. I'm a lot less confident in the long now too. It clearly can't sustain momentum into these breakouts. Generally speaking, we want to see at least some sustained momentum. Now, if I was probably a bit more proactive in my thinking, I might have been realizing that our breakouts are not working well and that, well, a non-working breakout is probably a decent time to start short. I didn't. So that's okay. I mean, it's not okay. I should have been probably thinking that more actively through, but I didn't, and I missed that trade. So unless we get another gift of a pop up into that $15 area, I think I'm probably just going to avoid this one at this point, at least for now. So I'll come back and check on it later. But for the time being, I do think it's probably getting ready to be time for me to not leave the screen, but hop on over my webinar. So yeah, ladies and gents, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to shout out my friends over at Trade Funder really quick. Again, they're the reason that we're here. And I know there are some days like today where it's maybe a little bit annoying to not take a trade. And you're like, what, Bryce, why aren't you taking a trade? But number one, again, I wasn't here yesterday. So a lot of this is kind of me. It feels like I'm getting reacquainted to the market. Not actually, I do feel pretty acquainted, but like understanding what setups are moving right now. And number two, if I don't see anything I feels easy money to me, I really don't want to take it. I've been a significantly less stressed and more profitable trader since I've made a much bigger effort to only take the easiest trades. Okay. So, and my whole point in saying this is that, yeah, if you're just here to follow a trade, sorry, you're probably in the wrong spot. I really don't want you here if you're just here to follow a trade anyways. But if you're here to learn and understand that not every single day is going to be an easy trade for you, well, that's great. But you still do need to be ready for when the best trades come their way. And so that's why I want to shout out Trade Funder really quick here before I go. Guys, those of you who don't know what Trade Funder is, it is a fully funded trading account, one of the first of its kinds here in the U.S. Christian, the man here, the man, the myth, the legend, they partnered with T3, which is one of the largest prop trading firms in the entire country. And basically, without me going overly into detail about every little rule here, I highly encourage you guys, by the way, to go ahead and click on the link that I am dropping in the chat for you. If you're on YouTube or Facebook, you've just seen that link pop up on your screen. I'll also put it as a banner across your screen as well. There you are. That link will bring you over to Trade Funder's website. Now, Trade Funder, they make money when traders make money. They've got an 80-20 profit split, one of the best in the industry. So if you make 10 grand, you're going to keep $8,000 of it. Trade Funder will keep 2,000, which I think is more than fair. The reason I'm saying this, though, is that generally speaking, for Trade Funder on their website, to get access to this trading account, it's $1,400 plus a $99 platform fee. Since you guys are here with Stocks to Trade, who they've partnered with, I think for great reason, Stocks to Trade provides trading education. We've had an amazing community of traders come up through Stocks to Trade. They're going to be betting on you to be more likely to find success than some random Joe on the street. And so instead of needing to put in $1,400 plus a $99 platform fee, it's $800 plus a $99 platform fee. And that'll get you access to that $25,000 account, $100,000 in buying power, which is pretty awesome. They do have risk management regulations. So, for example, if you lose more than $1,000 in one trading day, they're not going to shut your account off forever, but they are going to say, hey, come back tomorrow. You're losing too much money. Take a breath of fresh air. We call this a max daily loss. A lot of people will put this on their brokerage accounts to make sure that, listen, as traders, we know that we are our own worst enemy. It's never the fault of the market. It's never the fault of your mom or your sister or your spouse. It's you. You're the problem. And so when you get in that mindset, though, it can be really easy to spiral. I've got max losses on almost all my brokers, a max daily loss, so that if I'm losing too much money, clearly it's not the market not working in my favor. It's my head not working in my favor. So shutting that off, going to the next day and waiting till the next day can help you walk into the clear mind. Now, there is a max limit loss altogether, and they're not just going to let you lose all 25 grand of their money, considering all you did was put in $800. I think that's more than fair. But they are going to give you roughly an extra $3,000 worth of losses to take. Specifically, you'll be able to lose $3,750 from that account before they shut off the account completely. Again, if you're learning to trade, there's no reason you should be doing this, risking $1,000 per trade, not on a $25,000 account. If you risked, for example, if you're learning right now and you risk $10 a trade, you can take 375 straight losses before they shut off your account. That would be probably one of the most impressive losing runs that's ever happened anywhere. It's statistically nearly impossible. So my point in saying this is that trade with the size that makes sense to you. You're able to get over the PDT rule. You're able to have access to $25,000, really $100,000 for when you're ready to size up. That doesn't mean you need to use it all at once. Okay. Go ahead, click on that link that I've dropped in the chat. Check out and see if it's a good fit for you. I'm not going to sit here and call it the perfect solution for every trader, but I do think it is really an awesome opportunity for those of you guys who are currently under the PDT, not able to freely trade, not able to trade with as much money as they'd like to. This is a really great solution. It has been for me and for a lot of other traders who have used it. I love being able to have access to that Trade Funder account for some of those A-plus long trades. And I see Kevin just got Trade Funder last night. Let's go, man. Congratulations. Excited to see what you can do with it, my friend. Jara said, Bryce, you understand how much of a big help you are for people. We look forward to waking up and trading with you and learning. I really appreciate that. I appreciate that a ton. I do this because to be honest with you here, like it's a lot of fun for me, and it doesn't really change anything in the way I trade. If anything, it makes me be a little bit more patient when I have people watching. It discourages me from over trading. It discourages me from taking bad trades, and it also gets to help you guys in the process. So I'm really happy that it can be of help for you guys. I hope it is. That's why I do it. And for anybody that's sitting here saying this really is a big help, and you've been considering Trade Funder, take a look at it. See if it's for you. And if it's not, that's okay too. But I do think that it can be really helpful to a lot of you guys in here. So everybody, I will be seeing you guys back here tomorrow. I hope you are all having a great morning. Much love. Oh, one question I should say. Justice says, is it a real money account or paper trading account? Many prop trading platforms, they only offer paper money trading. No, this is real money trading. So basically, at least in the equities space, there's a lot of regulations around this stuff. There's a reason that Trade Funder is one of the first of its kind. There were a lot of CFDs and stuff like that, but a true prop firm, from my understanding, again, I'm also not the law, so I'm not really 100% certain, but from what I've read into it and what I understand, a true prop trading firm needs to offer real money. Anything other than that, and it's not truly prop firm, it's not truly proprietary money. So yeah, no, Trade Funder, it's 100%. You can go up to the top of your screen here. No evaluations, right? It's like, it's not an evaluation account. It's not like a simulated thing. It's just real. So yeah, there's a reason that Trade Funder is one of the first of its kind. And in the US anyways, I'd highly encourage you to check it out. You can also email their support team to get any clarifications that you want over literally any questions you have. Just scroll down to the bottom of the page. Email them down here at support@tradefunder.com. They'll get back to you ASAP and be able to answer all this for you. Awesome. Ice. Amazing. Said made 2K on AMCI. Phenomenal. Great work. All right, guys, that was all that I've got here. I've got to head on over to my my Small Cap Rockets webinar. So for anyone in the Daily Income Trader system, I will see you there. All right, everybody, have a good one. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye.